housing this exhibit of photographs and writing, and you'll hear from a couple other people about that in a minute. But I just want, some of you don't know about these projects, but I think most of you do. But I started working on this project about 2.5 years ago, and I had an idea for a way of storytelling, and I didn't know how to start. And so I wrote an email to Street Roots and a few other organizations, and I kind of showed examples of what I've been doing in the past and what I was hoping to do, and I didn't know if it would land. And the next morning, I got 2 emails from Street Roots, and they said, "We love your project. Come on in Monday morning to meet with our poetry group and explain your project and see if anybody's interested." So I came in Monday morning, 10 o'clock, and I showed examples, and very shyly said, that what I want to do is photograph objects, and then I'll make prints, and then if you're interested, you can write about the objects. And the group said, "When do we start?" And so I said, "Okay, Monday morning next week." And so I came in, I took pictures of objects. The next Monday I brought the prints back, and then I said, "Take as much time or as little as you want to write." And people started doing it, and that was really how this project got started. I'm kind of finishing this project, and we had a show at the Central Library, and about half of the patrons at the library are unhoused, and so they became part of the project and a big part of the audience when we had our opening. And then we had a show at Place Gallery in Northwest, and that was a different audience and a wonderful gallery. And then I've always wanted to have a show of this work in this neighborhood, because this is where we did most of the work. And so Aurora allowed me to have this exhibit, and we scheduled it, and it's happening right now. And Dom and Gwen will tell you a bit about their side of the gallery. But even though I'm kind of done with this project, I still come to the poetry group, and I'm a fly on the wall, but I just love being around such creative people. And what happens when Katie introduces a poem to the group, they all read it aloud. And I don't want to take up your time, and then we talked about the poem, but I'm still a fly on the wall. But then Katie asks people to write, take 15, 20 minutes, and just write from the prompts. And people do amazing work. And I mean, it starts out as this story, and then people work on it, and it's alchemy. I mean, it really turns into something beautiful. So it touches my heart, and I don't know when I'm going to stop. Let me just say one more thing. Saturday, May 23rd, I'm going to show about a 40-minute video that I did, basically with participants in this group. And on the 30th, Kelly Clendenin did a video called Help Us, and it's an award-winning film. It's about 20 minutes, and he'll talk about that. So those are coming events, and I guess that's it. So maybe Gwen and Dom, do you want to come up and talk about your workshop? Yeah. And I'm done up here for today. I'm listening.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I want to start by thanking Jim for actually inviting this project into pair with this incredible project that's mirroring it. Dom and I started these workshops. We basically host photography workshops at Street Roots, and this is the work that you see here is a culmination of work that we did over the summer. So over the summer, these photography workshops really started as like visual narrative workshops, but we would also go on these photography walks for hours on end throughout the city. And these were a lot of the photos that were coming from that time in the summer. If you want to say anything.
That sounds good.
We're a little shy.
Also, I think throughout the the workshops, and like we still continue to do them Wednesday at 11. And yeah, throughout the workshops, it's been, I don't know, a learning experience for us too, like learning new ways of seeing, new ways of being, and like, you know, hearing the stories that everyone shares. But I don't know, it's weird because it's really like Bronwyn and George and their work, and like, you know, everyone's in the workshops work, and we just hang out. So, I don't know.
And we do it so well.
You guys probably have more to say than that. Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for being here. It's a real honor to have so many people turn out to listen to poetry on a 75-degree sunny day. So, yeah, thanks for being here. My name is Katie. I facilitate the Street Roots Poetry Workshop. I'll just say a couple of quick things about it, and then I'm going to turn it over to our poets. We have 7 readers today who will each be reading for 3 to 8 minutes and estimating. So we'll have a good chunk of poetry to listen to. The Street Roots Poetry Workshop has been going on since 2022. I founded this incarnation of it back then, so it's been almost 4 years that we've been meeting together every single Monday year-round on the 3rd floor of the Street Roots building, right around the corner here. The poets who come to our workshop, many have been coming for that entire 4-year chunk. Looking at Cameron, Ricky, I feel like you've been around for 4 years.
Yeah.
Some of the poets you'll be hearing from started coming to the workshop just in the last few weeks and months, but many have been coming for almost 4 years now, and I mean every single Monday. We have met on Christmas morning. We had a Christmas workshop. We had a Thanksgiving workshop once. We meet when there's snow outside, we meet when it's raining, we meet when it's a heat wave, and the poets in this workshop get on the mats, they get on buses, they walk miles to come to Street Roots to read and write poetry together. It is super special, and I am so honored to be part of it. It's been so much fun for me for the past few years to meet with this group every single Monday. Like Jim said, the work these poets produce is exceptional. They sit down with no forewarning of what my prompt will be, and usually only 15 minutes to write because we've spent too much time gabbing about whatever poem I brought in that week. And those discussions are wonderful as well. They sit down with 15 minutes to write, and they produce absolute gems of literary work. It surprises me. I think we surprise each other every single week in that room, and it is just deeply impressive to me, and any guests who have been able to attend express that feedback as well. So I'm so glad that we have this opportunity. Thank you, Jim, to share our work in public like this. I'll just plug very briefly that every first Monday of the month is our community workshop day. That's the day that we invite in any community members who are interested in observing the workshop. So if you're not part of Street Roots, but you would like to but you would like to come check out the workshop, show up the first Monday of the month, and we'd be glad to have you. Okay, on that note, I'm just going to say the names of the readers that you're going to be hearing from. Ryan, would you like to read today?
Yes, I would.
Okay, sweet. Adding you to my list right now. And a little bit about some of them. We will first be hearing from Ricky. Ricky is a veteran and a poet. And this is actually Ricky's piece back here, so you can find out more about Ricky's story and see the work that he collaborated on with Jim on the dummy piece behind me. So Ricky will be reading first. Then we'll be hearing from Michael, then George. I will remind you guys as we're going through this if you forget. Then Colin. Then Randy, who's going to be reading one of his rap poems with us, which are amazing. Some of them have been published in Orion magazine. Is that correct? Yeah. So we're going to hear a special poem from Randy. Then we'll hear from Ken. Ken will read after Randy. Then Russell, you'll read after Ken. And then Bronwyn will be concluding our series today. Quick plug on behalf of Bronwyn, I hope you'll remind folks too. Bronwyn has published a book of poetry. It's called Reflection of Me in Pieces. She has paper copies available as well as e-copies. They're $10 each. And if you're interested in purchasing one, just flag her down after the reading. I believe all of our readers have also brought papers, so if you don't have the latest issue of Street Roots, any of them would be able to put you over one of those after the reading too. I think I've covered everything. Okay.
I have two poems I'm going to read. First is called Block Walls, and the other one is called Soul Wound. Written this week, and wanted to have some different poetry I wrote. I write poetry because I have PTSD, and I also write it for therapeutic reasons, you know, and everything. I'm glad to be part of the workshop, you know, and glad that Jim's had us here, you know, and without further ado, I'll read my poems for you, okay? Okay, Block Walls. The ground gives strength to the boundaries of stone, hardening the foundation of the rising mountain. Stone walls are resistant to weathering and erosion, unable to topple them from one's imagined perception. Granite boulders stacked high upon each other, wielded together by mortar blocking all intrusions. They interlock and obstruct mental perceptions, forming a curved line with no beginning or end. Others are flat with no way to scale them, no method to tunnel through them to the other side. They block the daylight and retain the darkness contained in its recesses buried in the black abysses. Blocking ideas, prohibiting artistic creativity of the mind and its innate ability to be inhibited, fallible to emotions, the walls can only be conquered by breaking them down into poetic shards of reality. Blowing apart like a reservoir dam, ideas flow like water, rush downstream, flooding the path before it. Crumbled into oblivion, the walls are vanquished, opening my mind and thoughts to a brighter world. That's perfect. And I hope you like this one. It's called Soul Wound. Words are short, but language is another expression of the soul's beauty. The body is a spiritual conduit for the voice of the soul, a fiery filter for sorrow from the soul. The pain of the soul is dark and deceitful because it lacks control of emotional fortitude. It only knows strife. The journey of a soul is shy without a voice, but it still has a song filled with desire, pleasure, peace, and tranquility. The whisper of the sorrowful, told from a soul long ago, is what caused a ripple in the rim of existence. It started a mission from soul to soul to answer that guest of sorrowful, extracted from the power of the light force that beams on us all. Its shelter and armor our lies and deceit, looking for that arrow but that can penetrate any beam. Armies will always search for peace, but never find the lie that breeds the light using light. You must use dark to find dark and light to find light.
I'm Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Alright, it's called Bubbles, circa 1985. Bubbles, thoughts, sayings are just blowing in the wind. Live in them, create them, use them, isolate a thought, highlight a prayer, single something out. Breathe, step outside the bubble with confidence, flow around the bubble stream, and pop out as it will be wide open. What will be wide open? It's up to you. Your space, your mind, your vision, your breathing. Underwater, exhale air bubbles. Joyous comics, full of bubbles, invoking such vivid imagination and bringing smiles to readers everywhere. Bubbles, we live in them, grow outside them, just don't pop them.
Good job, Michael.
So much blank space to offer joy, humor, anger, viciousness, confusion, fiction and nonfiction. Who is to say which is which? Did you live furious destruction that brought unconditional forgiveness? Did you live the wrath that brought the building of something eternally looming within? Did you live the shatteredness that led to the healing of our most venerable relationships? What was lost in the brokenness that is so sacred, discovered and never to lose again? Are you so blessed to have gained so much wisdom through so much pain. Requisite diamond. So simple, yet so priceless. As a young kid with my dad handing me the comics, reading the paper, cracking jokes, smiles, coffee, bacon, hash browns, so simple, yet priceless. This routine experience, so often without thought and yet so profound, not understanding the joy and fondness building in my heart, lasting a lifetime. Rooted in the love of a father for his son and the light in this earth, and life's the most beautiful memories of a lifetime seem so simple yet priceless.
First one I have is a haiku, and maybe with a backstory. I just moved to South Carolina. I'd been there only a week or so, but then I had this experience that made me realize I was in a new bioregion. They have mole crickets down there. They look like the mole crickets, but they have these claws, and when they breed, they cover the parking lot. So I showed up at this gas station. I went to go in. It's got a bright orange light, and they were all over the place like a plague. And I asked somebody, what is this? He goes, oh, it's just mole crickets. It's breeding season. I said, it sure is. I mean, they were all over my feet, everywhere. Over millions. For some reason, it wasn't scary, but I definitely knew I was somewhere else. So I wrote, neon Friday night, standing in the parking lot, full of mole crickets. This next one is longer. It's right there where I couldn't start like that. It's the best thing. You have to talk about them more than they are. But I got right in PSU and I was standing over this parking garage and it was nighttime and I was just drinking coffee and I was looking at the sign and it was just nice. It was like this. Standing outside drinking coffee at PSU. The light is coming down and the wind is rising. Okay, corner across the street and cars and parking. It's 868 and I look at how round the windows are. The 6 is like a child going in with 2 hands in a deep golden glow of them in the night. And I stood there as the stars came out, looking at them like friends. Friends that are gentle, friends that are made of light, like campfires keeping you company through the night. This one's longer. This kind of dramatizes something that happened just a few months ago. For years I thought of an epic poem about Medusa, about the attempt to break the spell to find the woman in the monster and pull her out of the hell of herself. But one day, this story just burned through my brain for hours and days. I couldn't get away from it. Stories of goddesses revolting in fury, god of war training the rescuer, the tsunamis of Poseidon, the zombie apocalypse of Hades, the world on the threshold of rupture everywhere. And one day I realized I was dramatizing the work in my own mind and heart, the desperate attempt after so many years of abuse to find the person inside my own self. And so much of myself is showing up in areas of these characters, the frustration and fury of areas, the coldness inside of Aphrodite, the goddess of love is turned to ice. Desperate anger of Athena, so terrified of it, she set herself on fire to try to consume it. Artemis, who was crafting poisons that can kill gods, and her brother Apollo is getting nowhere with her. She has pointed an arrow right between his eyes. Hermes the messenger is so sensitive to all this chaos, he vibrates like a tuning fork as he crosses the ocean faster and faster. And Perseus, shunted from his desperate mission to save his love, knows another vixen finds himself on one island after another, protecting people from the dead who will not sleep. I was wondering if we ever had an opportunity to try to save
few people with their cell phones. There's no pictures, no videos. Not comfortable with that. My name's Colin. I'm reading from the most recent chapter of my life today, Bible of Low Expectations. The first poem is called OPP, Oregon Public Property. This is the Rainbow Connection. Who found it? It's Judy Garland's voice. She didn't write it. A lot of definitions for freedom. I guess you know when you find it. Mine, Thai food. When I damn well feel like it. Keeps me happy, keeps me healthy, makes me better company. I guess I'm not really free, not what most people would mean when they say that. But I'm really hopeful for Thai food this week. That might be a double rainbow. My next poem is called Talking to Myself. I don't suck, I'm not a jerk, I'm not a dick or an ass, for real. No one wants to poke holes in your daydreams. I still believe in Disney. It's a trick to realize Buzz's surname is Aldrin, not Lightyear. I'm cheering for you. I just don't feel those chill summer vibes coming back my way. I do feel the breeze, the sun. I'm happy. It's just not okay to settle into talking to myself, even when I'm good company. The next one is called Time to Go. I remember where I am when the clock turns 12. No reason, I just remember. No one seems to care. I still do. Journey begins with one bruised kidney, one shattered wrist. Oh wait, that's only because 2020 is hindsight. I still remember, even though my memory dulls, it doesn't fade. The pear still stings. The pain still stings, I'm sorry. It won't go away. The first cut plunged too deep. It struck the bone. Thank you for food today. Ice, cold, water. The Son of Man has no place to rest his head. Last night my sweatshirt was a great pillow. Thankful. Well, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids and for just a little needed comfort. So how do you know when it's time to go? No one is answering calls anymore. No one gives a shit. This isn't going to be my life. I'm not going to die. I'm not going down alone. Rock and roll is the heart of this place. It can't be dead, can it? God help us all. My last poem is called Nearsighted. Let's see. That wasn't for effect. That was merely because I couldn't see what I read. So, you know the worst thing about manhood? Paying bills? Nah. People's bad attitude? Fuck them. Overwhelming sorrow? A wash of joy? Those are gifts. You know the worst thing about manhood? Hairy nipples. Just nasty. Ain't no making hairy nipples okay, just fucking nasty. I've got empathy. Isn't my job to listen just because no one else will. I'm here. I give a shit. Positive attitude doesn't make things better when the shit hits the fan. It does keep a few people around, though. Thank you for not throwing anything at me. I hope it counts that I stick. When it's knee deep, I'm still here. I'm not going to tell you I understand. I don't. I'm still stuck on the hairy nipple thing. Ew. Just nasty.
Next up, we're hearing from Randy.
Hello, I'm Randy. No Randy, I'm kind of God, so hopefully you can understand me. I'm gonna read from Randy's Visions with Rats. I sold over 400 copies of this book. What? Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna read Little Rats in Hibernation. They've been in hibernation for weeks now because it's too darn hot out there for the rats to come outside and eat. They're scared of Big Randy. Have no fear, Big Randy is here to save us from the rats. They will stay in hibernation until the fall comes and get colder outside. But have no fear, Randy will save us from those gosh darn rats that crawl through the night, eating people's food out there in their tents. They're nice in the day because daytime their rats are sleeping. In daytime, crawling through people's stuff at night will eventually have no worries no more. We eventually will have no more rats because if they keep cleaning up the streets of people's streets of Portland, the rats won't have no more to eat. They will eventually starve and go away. And I'm gonna read, I think I'll read one. I used to live on Prescott Street, and we used to have this family of raccoons that used to run along our fence like their own personal highway. So I started to write about raccoons. I survived the pandemic where I went from the streets to housing, from housing to the streets. I am a strong person. I eat a lot of food that has garlic in it. It builds my immune system up. That makes my body fine and well. The raccoons outside my apartment also ate a lot of garlic. They would climb the fence and eat the garlic in the garden. It makes them strong like me. I tried to get them out of my garden, but if you won't get too close to them and turn and be very bad day. So I describe to let them eat the garlic. It makes us all strong in any way.
Ken, you're reading next.
I'm reading from Volume 2 of my poetry books. First one called I Am a Flame. I am a flame in a fireplace. behind the heart, where you feel safe and warm. I am a flame on top of a candle that attracted the moth and led to its demise. I am a campfire as the flames rise. You use me to roast hot dogs, to make s'mores, to sing songs by and tell scary stories. I am a flame to light your lantern that lights your way through the darkness. Don't get too close, or you could get burnt because I am a flame. This one's called One More. Give me one more minute, give me one more hug, give me one more kiss, give me one more reason to stay, give me one more reason to play. Give me one less reason to cry, give me one less lonely night. One more chance to prove I'm right, one less time to fight. One more reason to love you, and one more reason to say I do. This one's called If I Was a Billionaire. If I was a billionaire, I'd give back to those who have helped me out in my struggles, so they may help many more through their struggles. The struggles make you stronger, even if you don't notice the changes in yourself, others will surely see them. Those flaws that held you back are no more visible. You are now indivisible, indispensable, inconceivable, undeniably a billionaire. You'll read the poem on the picture there with me holding Missy. Missy, short in stature, level 1 nature. A beautiful creature created by God to form a bond with a human, so symbiotic and unbreakable. Those that have met her will never forget her. More than my best friend, in a lot of ways, she is my child. Without her, I would not be here. She is my motivation, heart and soul. I love my Missy.
So next we're gonna hear from Russell. Ken and Randy, do you guys have copies of your books?
Yeah.
Okay, so I plugged Bronwyn's book earlier, but if anyone would like to purchase a book from, Ken, do you have books with you?
Yes, I do.
Ken or Randy, they also have their poetry books available too. Russell, please.
Hey, so like I know is, and I'm the fucking new guy. The FNG is Street Roots, but I love Street Roots, and love what it does for people. And I'm so grateful to be part of it and to be a vendor and all the community and relations. It's just so wonderful. But anyway, this first poem I'm gonna read, I'm not reading anything that's been in the paper. Now I have one, but I'm gonna read this I wrote. So I go out to Kenton and Denver a lot of afternoons, or not a lot of afternoons, but I'll go out there like when I'm tired, and there's a place that I can just sit and I put my papers out. I often don't sell much out there, but it's such a beautiful place that I just go sit. And I wrote this sitting there, and this is all kind of emotional too. There's somebody sitting in that back corner. Anyway, maybe I'll explain that. But anyway, I sit and listen to the beat, slow and rhythmic, quick to the air, or maybe a car passing by. No, there's the lyrics, just the beat, no words faintly gone, a smile soft and kind, loud and forthright, mixing a song so kind, alive and bright, tie-dye way too large, what gay apparel, hat big enough to be a barge, a perfect sight. Conversation on a spring day, oddly different, a perfect fit. Adding melody this afternoon day. Across the street, a lady yelled, she has lost her care, pleading for help with a hollow soul, wishing for an end to this foul way. But every song has a sad way. From the depths, that's where blues are laid. So I sit and listen as the children walk by, smile intact to the heartbeat of the city. It's played all day. Cars and cares, hopes and harmony of a lyric fluttering by, cultures coming together. So many voices, so much hope, the heartbeat of the city I've come to love. The sound of the crowds under the bloom, the strike at night, skateboards clatter, kindness served while a crowd grabs memories for friends to share. The sound of the city, the heartbeat of Portland, this place I love. And I guess maybe I should have, this one has been in the paper. And this is the first night that I came to this town. And it's been a crazy journey. I think maybe I started this journey when I was 14 years old. I knew that I needed to come to the Northwest, and through a crazy journey of life and raising kids, last October I took my last $20 and I got on a bus and said, fuck it. And I did it in recovery, 6 years and sober. Because I did some crazy shit in addiction, and I figured for my heart now, I needed to do some crazy shit in recovery. So I came to meet the Green Frog. I had to. She's a grandma, just so you know. That night, this is called Knowing Undone. That night, my knowing became undone. What I thought I'd see nowhere to be found. Acceptance and compassion mixed with despair bound. That's what I found. A kindness in corners that no one dares. Some with love turn to blare. Sadness that doesn't seem fair. Souls in the depths of despair. Yearning for someone to care. Too many lives in disrepair. That tired night as I walked a Portland night away, I truly knew. I just do not know. And then I got crazy. So this week, it's the election issue, right? And everything going on in this country, and then like the legislation, that issue made me mad. Oh, and then I seen all the candidates, and then one of my regular customers, this little old lady, she came up and she said she needed the paper to know who to vote for. She said, I need your help knowing who to vote for. And my first thought was, well, asking my advice, my best advice will get you drunk in a cornfield, wondering how the hell to get home and where to park. And that's a fact. It's happened. And then she walked away, and then so this weekend's Mother's Day, and my mom was such a beautiful lady. She sure did hold the fort down. And so this one is called Moms for Mayor. And I just wrote this morning. I went to my corner because I thought I'd try to make a little money before I came here. And I just put my papers up and I wrote this. So it's really sorry if I stumble a little bit. Moms for Mayor. Soccer moms for Senate, that's how to vote. Platinum-haired hotties should hold all the House seats. They don't want the job, have plenty on their plate, and truly deserve a rest and sleep in late. But between dinner and homework, they would get it done, make America great. Just have to accept the whole world running 5 minutes late. Tilly for treasurer, and Allie is great. No border walls needed with her at the gate. Become a vendor and forget how to hate. Valencia for vice president, and Emma for emirate. They'll get some shit straight. We'll paint that White House all paisley and pink. No need for a ballroom, a garden will do great. With flowers and love that bloom all year through, we'll get rid of the gold and make our queens a crown. And when the ladies get done giving the world a swing look with a soft smile and no room to squirm, quickly getting all countries on board with buckle held tight and hair combed right, America will be such a fun ride, but we're gonna arrive just a little late. And I think I'll quit there, guys.
Next we're gonna be hearing from Sadie.
distracted, I'm never thinking twice. Her spirit is clearly at war, her heart is sore. Her mind is baffled by British and China porn, religious lore with Greek mythology and all of these ancient gods. Well, we just look at the final effect now, like what the fuck was even the cause? How the fuck is abiding by also breaking the law? How is this nation so systemically flawed? Like there's social inequity for the poor, the blind, anyone colored, and most people white, while I lose myself now in the reason for the fight. Who am I to say what's wrong or right? And yet in a shadow of judgment I can be cast away, caught up in sight of a spell. They told me that only time will tell. I guess life is just what you make it when you're down here in hell, as nothing rings a bell. This motivates me back into myself, leaving me in prison once again in my cell. Their cells, their cellular energy, their cellular chrome, to a molecular level it appears like nobody's home. I'm here again alone. I got this God flow, though. He comes and he goes with all of these seeds, but where will they sow or grow, or how will they know? If I keep taking in shit like blow after blow. I have to say though, my life is low and so am I. I have no tears left in my eyes or my head to cry. My soul's body and river both have run dry. I've only ever been amongst the fountain. I turned over water to wine and gave the courage to climb a motherfucking mountain, yet I'm still penalized. So in a sense, all of the life events took away my innocence. This is the reason that I'm still the bad guy. So that's the reason when I lie and I say that I'm fine, but every time I pour up another glass, you'll see my eyes shine, because I hate hearing niggas whine. They boast to me about the time that everybody dropped a fucking dime and nobody even questions why I choose to die. But hey, what's the Christ without a bride? So let me burn these bridges here right now in the bittersweet, the honor of the wedding feast, or the taming of the beast in us all. Don't you remember what it was like to fall? These here ransom sacrifice, because I want to spend my life with you. But now that I see how you move, I guess I'm grateful, because I couldn't see me until I saw you. Behind all of my good intent and love for you on this journey, that one road that most folks have been hell-bent on, like they were born in dented bread pans. So I guess that course sincerely do understand, how can you know love if you only know man? It's like you never knew what it was made out of, so I had to go show them. An action altogether evil and heroic, because I truly already know that humans, they believe in, they breathe in, they breathe, they build on bullshit. They get so mad when that shoe fits and they step in their bullshit. But I bet they don't clean it off though. I bet they just stay wiping their souls and inviting the stench. But if you watch that shit hit the fan, how much sacrificial smoke a nigga wanna blow at me? How shit gets so fire. No, don't touch me, Dad. Nah, nigga, you can get bent. I ain't got shit for you either, cause all of my love is spent. I ain't got none, not to lease, not to loan, not to borrow, not to rent. Cause wicked affliction is the loyal word of God, while the wicked inherit the destruction of law. By y'all's logic misguided and flawed. Like satellites speaking, lambs and mice, church bells are ringing and this witness is twice. When I tried playing fair and I tried playing nice, till I found out you were cheating and waited with dice. But no one can tell me who made the weight for the bag. Or who is crazy enough to measure our line of chaos. Or if I put a poison in the pot, and who's really in charge, and how the fuck did I get to God? And no one still can tell me why this little girl is so bittersweet. And how ironically they think that it's me that doesn't see or hear, while they keep telling me that the end is near. While at first the reason wasn't clear, but now here I am. Thank you for letting me see. Thank you for remembering Hallows Eve, and every child that took candy and parent that took me trick or treat. I like to watch them die at death as glorious as me. With every costume and mask and street, you're about to see through us can fucking be. Bitch, on your fucking knees and beg me for mercy, cause this will always hurt me more than it could ever hurt me. I can't give in because I don't forgive you. The blasphemy and mass see through me.
Alright, we just have 2 readers left, and next we're gonna hear from Frank.
First poem, I don't know if it's published or not, but it's entitled Hello, Hi, Hey, Have a Nice Day. Oftentimes as people walk my way, respond, no thank you to my hello. And I know my position in this place of a beggar, but as was originally stated, all I said was hello. But as you walk away, I'd just like to say to you,
know to have a nice day. As you come walking my way, I say hi when you give me a little sneer in your eye. Where I'd like to say bye, I'll only say, have a nice day. As you walk away, as you walk my way, you said, hey, oh, now you're walking my way. Now you're making my day. As you say, have a nice day. When you walk away, at the end of the day, the day, no matter how you or I approach it, be happy or sad, glad or mad, positive or negative, the end result is saying hello, hi, hey, have a nice day. This next one's in the current edition of Street Roots. It's entitled Mind of Winter. Unrelenting, consistent cold breeze, the mind of cold that cuts through any layer of insulation, a deep cold, that can only exist in one's core, a cold with a mind of its own, a living chill that lives at the base of one's spine and possesses one's body in a specific direction, biting into flesh with many small teeth, gnawing at the senses, pulling away from all and all other senses, frozen yet still in motion, relentless in its existence, numbing sensation from head to toe. Light dims, darkness takes hold, motion stiffens, cold seeps in, cold over, cold covers cold, envelops, cold takes away more than it gives, heartless in its existence, caring for none, but covering all, emotionless in its motion, unrelenting in its consistent cold breeze.
Our last reader for today is Bronwyn.
Hiya, I'm Bronwyn. The first one's called Ballerina. I dared to dream to be a ballerina, to dance on stage in tutu and tights, pirouette on point and fly, to stretch my arms in fluidity, harness strength that looked lithe. I dared to dream to be a ballerina, only to be told there was no more money. Eventually, I just stopped dreaming. All right, moving right along. Hot and roll. Oh, you don't have to clap till the end, please. It's all good. It's awkward, guys. This morning was a whitewash of muted grays, combined into cotton roll, whilst tiny droplets fell silent. Even the trees wondered if it was rain. Sidewalks slick with remnants, leaves once colorful, discarded, became the same color of old rust, ground into the stepstone, tributes given over to the season, as is all around us now. Trees cling onto vestiges of summers past, as I cling on to my past, waiting for it too to become gem-colored and fall, so rebirth can bring a newness to the being. Lofted scent of blossoms. Spring, it seems, has slipped lazily onto my hill. Yes, the birds perched on thin branches last week, calling, singing for a mate, and yet, today as I stepped outside amongst all on a teeny tiny breeze, lofted the scent of blossoms not there previously. Though upon further review, branches seem to be coming to bud, like the girl who in a season becomes a woman. And I've got one more after this one. This is called In a Letter to My Daughters, which I've got to enlarge so the blind eyes can see it. In all my moments of divine imagined, there was you and you and you, tethering me always to responsibilities to be made. And I thank you, daughters three, for without that lifeline, I would have blown like damp laundry off hung-corded line. And yes, eventually the winds caught me, blew me, cascading in circles, not eloquent like the ballerina, but askew, rough-handed and confused, out of your lives for years. I should never have counted without on you, my daughters. As I have now landed on better than 1 foot, and for the better, no longer a ghost mother to you and you and you, but made of the flesh you, there are of made me. I am learning now to be the adult again, to be honest and vulnerable, but mostly to be your mom now. All right. And this one I wrote special for today's theme, what I carry. I am reminded of what I carry when I look at hazel eyes who stare back, wondering who is this person. The mixing of DNA twined in helixes from ancestors I do not know, nor will I in the future. I am flesh and story, memories of those before me, bits and pieces of another's life told to me and to mine, seen in segmented reliefs from photo albums now yellow, cracked and decayed, like those who stood in small white frames, frozen moments only to be forgotten, items that can be kept and honored, some lost and mourned, but it is the identity of all you who you are, descended from, that is what you carry. All of those stories told through generations, all the memories of those family members no longer with us, something that backpacks cannot hold, or belongings that cannot be swept away. It is everything that came before me and all that will come after me that my lineage will carry on next. Thank you.